Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
Deep. Try that again. Napheesa Collier opened her mouth again about the CBA negotiations. This is never good for the WNBA players. Let's talk about it. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate all of your support. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Come on, monitor. What's wrong with you here? All right. Anyway, yesterday was a migraine day. Recovering from that, a little bit exhausted. For some reason, my eyes won't stop watering, even though it's not allergy season, but that's okay. Now, for those of you that did not realize this, Unrivaled has started. Yes, they had games on Monday night. And of course, this was Napheesa Collier's opportunity as a competitive league to talk down the WNBA and to talk herself up. And it is wild, wild what she says here. So we're going to listen to this. Is only about 40 seconds long. We're going to listen to this. We got to talk about it because this does not, again, this does not bode well for the WNBA having a season this year. If it does not have a season this year, it will never have a season again. And I'm not sure Unrivaled will either, thanks to Project B. But let's listen to Napheesa talk about the CBA negotiations.
Here with us at this time. Yeah, well, our deadline is coming up right now in a couple of days. And I think you've just heard a lot of chatter about, what we're asking for is not sustainable for the business. And being on this side with Unrivaled, I know what it takes to run a sustainable business. So I think if they can't find a model that makes that happen, they need to put people in place who can, because we've proven that it is possible. There is a way, and we're thriving in that. And so I do think a deal is going to get done, but we're standing firm in what we believe in. We're not going to back down, and we can't take less. The sport has just grown too much. It would be a disservice to the people who came before us, for the work that we put in, to take less than what we're owed.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Where the hell do I begin with this? All this is an absolute disaster. Every word that I listen to from this lady, I like her less and less. She's deeply dumb human being. I mean, she went to Connecticut. You get into Connecticut without even knowing how to read or write. So, what are you going to do? But wow, the narcissism, the delusion, patting herself on the back. I know what it takes to run a sustainable business. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't actually run Unrivaled. You are a name at the top, along with Brianna Stewart. You have a whole lot of people behind this league that got it off the ground, people that know what they're doing. And then you got a whole lot of media people who said, this is a good expense for us because it gives us good press. It gives us good marketing. We support women's sports. We're getting behind women's sports. Big, huge corporations do this all the time with money they donate. With Nike thought it was a good idea. They decided that, hey, support giving Colin Kaepernick after everything that happened, an endorsement deal was going to be a cost, but we thought overall it was good for us. They will do things like that in order to get good press. Unrivaled has been around for one season. No thanks to Napheesa Collier. It was thanks to all the people who decided they were going to back women's sports, knowing full well they may not see a penny. It lost money its first season, despite, and look, this is why, and Napheesa didn't do this, but this is why I'll give credit to those who actually were in charge, minimizing expenses the way they did so that they could pay players more and have a chance of not losing tens and tens of millions of dollars. I thought that was really smart. But again, sustainable business, no. Will it be a sustainable business? Probably not. But to sit there and say, I know what it takes on this side of the table because I run a sustainable business is absolute crap. It also tells you that Unrivaled is 100% a competitor to the WNBA. So, one, to sit there and say, you know what it takes to run a sustainable business is a flat out delusional, narcissistic lie, my woman. It is just a lie. You are lying. Number two, to sit there and then attack them and say, you know what it takes to run a sustainable business when you haven't run one, and tell the people who have been in charge of the WNBA, which, by the way, is the people in charge of the NBA. The NBA that makes billions upon billions of dollars every single year. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below, but in the US, I believe it's the second largest, right, in terms of revenue. I mean, the NFL dwarfs everything else, but I think the NBA is second. But either way, you're talking about, a $10 billion a year business. Those are the people keeping the WNBA going because they feel bad for the ladies. apologies, ladies. I know most of you are good people, and I support women's sports. No one supports it like I do. I mean, I've gone through this before, and how much I've been on the field of women's national team practices for soccer. I've watched every single game of multiple of every team of multiple seasons in the NWSL when that was possible. But then when you get the idiots who set back women's sports, the idiots like Napheesa Collier patting herself on the back, wallowing in her narcissistic delusions, it irks me to get irked by this absolute nonsense. And you are going to sit there and say you know more about running a professional basketball league, a real one, not this crap, than the owners and the NBA, the people running the NBA. You know more about how to do it than they do. This is what you're telling me. Now, then we get to the next part, which is we're not going to take less. Again, we've talked about this before. Now, I will always give that caveat is, and this is one of the reasons they can get away with saying it, is she 100% has the media backing it, right? Like you see it with you see it with this, right? Napheesa Collier with another strong WNBA CBA statement on the Unrivaled broadcast, blah, blah, woof, woof. It's not strong. This is what the media does. We have Annie here is 100, she's in media, but she's 100% an activist, just like the players. All right, my takeaway after day one of crappy games of Unrivaled season that no one cares about. Women's basketball is in good hands. No, it's not because no one wants to watch it outside of Caitlin Clark. Again, that is the truth, whether you like it or not. And once again, we have Napheesa Collier sitting here saying, we're not going to take less. They are light years away from the WNBA in terms of what they said they want and what the WNBA offered. The WNBA is not going to move all the way to what the players say they want. And here's Napheesa Collier telling you they won't take less. What does that add up? I mean, do the math. That means strike. If you say this is our number and you are nowhere near that number, WNBA, and you won't go near that number, what you're saying is there is not going to be a season. And I think that is risky. And as much as I feel bad for the typical player in the league, because we got these dumb vets like Collier who want to get what they want to get at the expense of the future of the league and the future of the players in the league coming in behind them, which is kind of funny when you get into her last statement. Part of me is like, you kind of brought it on yourself because you're allowing these people to negotiate for you, and you gave them the right to vote a strike, or what will ultimately be a lockout. And then she ends it. She has the nerve to end it with, "We owe it to the players who came before us." How does that work exactly? We we owe it to the players before us to get more, to demand more money than we deserve at the risk of shutting down the entire league permanently so that no one ever gets anything. The delusion, the lack of critical thinking, it's absolutely wild, but I wanted to bring this attention because this is a great snapshot of where we are, where the players are, how far into a bubble they are in their delusion about the reality of the WNBA, the reality of whether people want to watch or not, the reality of the numbers. You watch this, and again, you think this is one of the people that's going to decide whether there is a season or not. And you gotta lean toward no season. Now, at the end of the day, again, they might get desperate at that last minute, which we gotta be getting to because we still got you got expansion drafts gotta be done, and free agency's gotta be done, and all that's gotta be done before the draft and so on. And that that's it's gotta happen soon. You gotta get the ball rolling. So maybe if the WNBA eventually comes to us, say, "Hey, this is it. This is our offer. We are not budging on this. You can accept this, or there won't be a season," then we might get something from the players. Now, again, you saw what Annie said and so forth. I can see I can't see the WNBA giving the players everything they want, but I can see them moving a lot just because of the pressure unfortunately for them, they have the pressure of the media against them, but the players are not going to have the fans, right? When you see more stuff like this from Napheesa Collier, except for the absolute brainwashed simps, no one sees this from Napheesa Collier or listens to how unprofessional she was with her comments about Kathy Engelbert's like, "Yeah, you go, girl. I support you." Nobody, as Brandon says, is going to hold her accountable. There's the problem. Never accountable. They are never held accountable. so she can say and do whatever she wants. What she doesn't realize is that the same can be said about her too. Maybe new people should be at the table negotiating for the player's side. She should give up her side. She talks so one-sided. There you go. That's kind of what I just said about not completely feeling bad for the players. The W should have sanctioned the crap out of her and others that were promoting Unrivaled during the All-Star game this year 100%. See, again, that goes to where they have the media on their side. The WNBA was probably afraid to do what they should do, what is right to do, and say, hey, look, Napheesa Collier, you're going to be a player in the WNBA. Here are all the things you cannot do and you cannot say. They ought to boot her out of the league. That's what they ought to do. She owns a competitive league. Find the hell out of her for free advertising of a rival league, 100%. It still blows my mind how the WNBA allowed Unrivaled to promote the league during the WNBA season. If it was an investor in a WNBA team, I wouldn't be okay with another league being if I was an investor, being promoted as a conflict of interest. If this was any other league, it wouldn't be allowed. And that's what I'll finish off with. You would never in a million years see this with players in the NBA, the NFL, Major League Baseball. None of that. You would see none of that. Train wreck coming. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Appreciate you checking out the video. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Go have the day you deserve. Shout out to the 19. I will talk to you later.